Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Indy's Trusted Servant Show on inspiresmall.biz/Indy's Trusted Servant. I want to thank Ryan Henry, the major domo of inspiresmall.biz, for making this venue available for me to interview a lot of local small biz and community folks. What is Indy's Trusted Servant? Well, that's me, Danny O'Malia, Indy's Trusted Servant. I do customer service training and keynote speaking about customer service. It's all about the culture of the organization. Learned all of that from the hand of the master, my late father, Joe O'Malia, back in the O'Malia Food Market days. But even before that, in about 1956, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, he owned a little grocery store in Broad Ripple, where the Vanguard Bar is now. And he lost that store. And after working for 2 local chains over the next 10 years, he came back 10 years later and successfully launched O'Malia Food Markets. And one of my earliest lessons from Joe O'Malia was never, ever, ever give up. If you're interested in my customer service trainings or keynoting, give me a call at 317-413-9062. What's the Indy's Trusted Servant Show on inspiresmall.biz? I like to describe it as lively local small biz and community talk where you can feel the pulse of Indy. My guest today has been a guest before, and he's kind of my Medicare/senior citizen guy, Mr. Jay Cox. And it's been a while since I've seen Jay. It's good to have you here. Welcome. And thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. It's good to be back again. As you recall, back before the pandemic, we used to do these programs introducing the upcoming Medicare benefits for the next year every fall, and then do programs all around central Indiana explaining the benefits to everybody. But of course, we weren't able to do that for the last couple years. But that didn't mean Medicare hasn't been changing each year, which it did. It just meant people weren't able to hear about it. So the program I would do with you today, I would call While You've Been Sheltering, Medicare Has Been Changing for the Better with So Much More.
Well, that's going to be very interesting. Do you want to start with these programs that you put on and give folks the dates, or you want to do that later?
Yeah, I'll mention them now, and at the end of the program, we'll put them up because I know Ryan will be able to put the locations and dates and times on the screen for people. But we have programs that are starting tomorrow and running for the next couple weeks after that. We'll be doing programs in 4 different counties over 6 different event days. So get ready to write those down. We probably got one near you that you can be sure to catch.
You want to talk about that, or do you just want to put the schedule up later?
Well, yeah, we'll have Ryan put it up at the end. I'll come back to that. Let me just talk a little bit about our programs because there's really no good way for people to be able to find out when they're turning 65 or getting Social Security disability exactly what these Medicare benefits are that they're getting. You know, you can read these books till you're blue in the face and you won't really understand it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Danny, you don't need to have to know Medicare like you have to take a test to get the benefit. You just have to understand it. So you don't need to know it. You just need to know Jay, and Jay can help you with the rest.
There you go.
And always remember, Danny, there's never a charge to you for any of the services we provide for you.
So talk about these changes in Medicare, if you want to jump into that.
Yeah, well, this year's program, we're going to put a different spin on, Danny. We always begin by explaining to people what is original Medicare, which is what the government gives them when they qualify at 64 disability. And then we explain why you don't want to stay in original Medicare and what your alternatives are with Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage. And we usually glaze right over Medicare supplements in a rush to get to Medicare Advantage and talk about all the shining, dangling objects with the free benefits they get. So this year we're going to give Medicare supplements more of its due and go into more detail about that, explaining why people might want to consider that as an alternative to their Medicare Advantage. Because, Danny, these programs both do the same thing. The only difference is in how you pay for them. So we want people to understand that because there are situations where a Medicare supplement might be right for somebody and occasions where the Medicare Advantage might be right for somebody else.
I'm pretty naive on this. Are you saying you have to choose one or the other?
Yeah, it's like being a boy or a girl.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Let's not get into that.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is Medicare. Most people are past that stage in life.
So, what do you want to talk about the Medicare supplement for a while?
Yeah, the idea with the Medicare supplement is that it provides a way to eliminate the risk from your Medicare coverage. Because in all honesty, as I tell people with the Medicare Advantage, there's a reason that's a program with no monthly premium. And that's because you're assuming the risk that if you develop serious, either chronic or critical illness problems, you've got a lot of copays you're facing. The Medicare supplement eliminates that problem. It takes all the risk out of Medicare coverage because it will provide complete coverage for you with your doctors and hospitals as a result. So sometimes the Medicare supplement's best, sometimes the Medicare Advantage, but don't just rush to the Medicare Advantage because it's a zero premium program. As I say, it contains all the risk where the Medicare supplements eliminate all the risk.
That's is that an oversimplification? You want to go into more detail on that, or let that lay there?
Well, the biggest thing to understand, whether you have Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage, Danny, is you're also going to have a need for what we call supplementary products. And unfortunately, this is confusing enough because you've got to deal with what are parts and what are programs. There are parts A through D, there are plans A through N. What's the difference between them? That's confusing enough to understand that. But then we get into supplementary because there are Medicare supplements and they are completely different from supplementary programs. Supplementary programs will quote unquote fill in the gaps as to what Medicare covers and doesn't cover that falls on you. Because in reality, Danny, Medicare is very wide in its coverage, but it's also very narrow. And you can get into situations where there can be costs well above and beyond what you might even imagine. A lot of people think Medicare is going to be free to begin with. And of course, that's not true.
That's definitely not true.
Medicare never has been free. It never will be free. There are always going to be some copays or premiums involved. It's just a matter of which approach is better for you. And that's what we help people understand to be able to make that decision. Because as I said, once you understand under original Medicare, and you understand then why you don't want to stay in original Medicare, it's like you've come to a break in the path that you're on, and you either have to go to the left with the Medicare supplement or the right to Medicare Advantage. If you don't understand what they are and which one is better for you, you make decisions that may sometimes be very wrong and end up costing you a lot of money in the long run.
And again, a reminder for those of you who are viewing, I assume you are interested in Medicare. That's why you're watching the show today. But you guys, Jay wants to help you figure this out with these upcoming programs. And we'll talk more about that in a bit.
Sure. So let me get into Danny. I don't know how we're doing on the clock, but since this is so important, let me get to this right now, and then we can talk more about other things later. But I'd like to talk about where and when these programs will be.
Fire away.
Because we start tomorrow, and we'll be in 4 different counties with 6 different locations. Now, please understand this. On each program day, we will do 3 presentations a day. One in the morning these are 1-hour programs. You can either come in the morning from 10 to 11, or in the afternoon from 2 to 3, or in the evening from 6 to 7. That's going to be true for all the locations. So here we go with the locations.
Now, all the programs will be in the same location in one day.
That's right.
Right? Yeah, okay.
That's right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my notes with my dates? Here we go.
Got to be there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks. Gee, Brian, can we stop? Okay, the first date will be tomorrow in Hamilton County. We'll be in Fishers at the Fall Creek Township office. on the corner of 116th and Brooks School Roads. On the 21st, we'll be in Hancock County in McCordsville at the Hancock Wellness Center, which is on Oleo Road, about a mile west of Pendleton Pike. And then on Thursday, we'll be in Greenfield at the Buck Creek Township Fire Department in their training center. That's on the grounds of the Indianapolis Regional Airport there. Then the following week, on Tuesday, September...
What's that date? Yeah.
Oh, which one?
The following week.
Yeah. On Tuesday, the 27th, we'll be in Shelbyville at the American Legion on Miller Avenue. On the 28th, we'll be in Warren Township at the Education Center on the corner of 10th and Post. And then on the 29th, we'll wrap up these first rounds in New Palestine at the Hancock Wellness Center on Roy Wilson, which is a side street of Oleo in the town of New Palestine.
Now, are you saying there will be more programs after this?
Yes, there will.
Okay. That's good to know.
That's
okay.
Right. We'll
repeat the
further
times of
there.
these shows
Sure.
for folks. Now they know where they are. What time are they again?
Okay. No reservations are required. You can call me if you have any questions at 317-559-2140, or you can just email to Jay, J-A-Y, J@jmedicare.com. And on each of these dates, we have a morning program from 10 to 11, or an afternoon program from 2 to 3, or an evening program from 6 to 7.
And you can just show up. If you want to.
Just show up and have your ears wide open and learn everything you need to know. And as I said before, you don't need to know Medicare, you just need to know Jay. Because I'm always available as a 24/7, 365 service, Danny.
I got a question that I've been meaning to ask you, but I haven't seen you, okay?
Yeah.
And then
It's
we
been
can
a few years.
we can go back to whatever else you want to talk about specifics. But okay, you're watching the news. I'm on my treadmill in the basement. I'm watching Fox News, and all these commercials come on for all this Medicare stuff. Call the Medicare hotline. Call to get your zip code. All this stuff. I can see you smirking.
Yeah.
Is that worth anything at all?
I am so glad you brought that up, Danny. That is the greatest disservice that's ever been rendered to the senior community. Whether it's Joe Namath or J.J. Walker or any of the others, I'm telling you right now, they don't know what they're saying. They're just reading the cue cards, which they wouldn't do if they knew what they were saying, because what they're saying is frankly outright lies.
I thought that, but I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, the most egregious charge is say, call and see if your zip code will qualify you for money back on a give back. Well, first off, let's explain what a give back means. Each month with Medicare, you pay a premium for your Part B coverage, which is automatically deducted from your Social Security check. If they say they have a give back, it's currently $170 a month, Danny. If a program, for example, says it has a $50 give back, what that means is that the company you enroll with would pay $50 of that Part B premium, so you're paying $50 less, and if you're paying $50 less, your Social Security income goes up $50 more. In reality, it's only veterans programs you can get that will do that. But what is so bad about that claim, Danny, is that there is no program available in the country anywhere this year or any previous year, going back about 8 years, for somebody to get money back on their Social Security just based upon their zip code. One time in 1 year in one county down in Florida that was ravaged by a hurricane, Medicare allowed them to get some payback or give back to their Part B premium because of the damages of the storm. That was a long time ago. It's never been done again. So when they say check your zip code, that's just plain an outright, frank lie.
That's too bad.
Now, furthermore, when you call in, there are terms, Danny, by which these companies are not allowed to make what are called outbound phone calls. Even though you may get them all the time, they're illegal. But they get away with it because the do not call laws are actually state law based. So they call you from Dayton, Ohio, and there's nothing that our Attorney General can do about it. But what happens is When you call that center, you're going to be connected with somebody thinking you're going to ask about your zip code and get some money back. And in reality, all they're trying to do is get you to give them enough information that they can write you up in another program and switch you over. And they won't do it with your permission, and you won't even know it's happened. And I know that because it's happened to a couple of my clients.
Wow.
They try to get enough information from you to switch you to another program. Furthermore, if you ever have any problems or questions, when you try to call back, you won't get through. It's not going to be possible for you to ever call one of those agents back with a question. All they do is take incoming phone calls to enroll people. If you call with a question, they'll just probably disconnect you or put you on a loop where you keep getting transferred from
Been
one
on that
extension
loop
to
before.
another. Right. In my situation, Danny, and I've always done this from day one, I said earlier in the program I was available 24/7, 365. What that means is all my clients get my phone number, which rings on my desk in my office, that they can call me at any time with any problems or questions about anything. Furthermore, I've also gone to the extent of arranging so that that phone call to my office also rings in my home office. So I can be reached at any time. Just as an example, a few weeks ago, one of my clients called me on a Sunday evening about 7:30. I happened to be in my office, heard the phone ring and picked it up. She says, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing in your office at 7:30 on a Sunday night?" So I explained to her, this is how serious I am about the personal service we provide. I'm always available. If you don't get me, you'll get my voicemail, and I return calls just as soon as I get them.
And I will vouch for that. In the past, when I've needed to talk to Jay, if I had to leave a message, he calls you back, well, as Joe Amalia would say, unbelievably fast, right? Not as soon as possible, but unbelievably fast, which is a talent that's been lost in our society today. So that's very rare. So hats off to you for that.
Thank you. Now, we're serious about customer service. We understand what it really means, and we deliver.
So I'm glad I remembered to ask you that, because it's been in the back of my mind. I'm watching these commercials and I'm thinking, this is just too good to be true, right? I didn't know about the switch off to another program part of it, but you have explained that. So
Yep.
Basically you're saying deal with Jay Cox or deal with somebody that's legit. Do not call those numbers.
Yep.
Right?
Well, what you need to deal with, if you add up what I've been saying, what you need to be dealing with is a Medicare advocate. And that's what it says on my business cards, your Medicare advocate. I'm not an agent because, in the first place, I don't work for an insurance company, and I'm not obligated to have to sell anybody's particular product line. I'm an independent broker. I represent all the 8 companies that have the Medicare Advantage and supplement programs for Central Indiana. And what that means is I'm able to help my clients let me understand exactly what their most important concerns and needs are so that we can find which of all those different programs is best suited to them. And then once they're enrolled, that's when we become that advocate who's always available to help with their problems and concerns. And then the next fall, when the next Medicare enrollment season rolls around, we always do customer follow-up programs where I invite all my existing clients back for meetings where we review what's going to be new for next year. Because you
Are you
do
talking
have the
about
opportunity to
one-on-one?
make changes.
You're talking about one-on-one meetings, not
I do group. I do
Okay,
group,
okay.
but then I say, if you'd like to, based upon what I said today, if it's something you and I need to get together and talk about, maybe you need
okay.
to change programs for some reason, then we'll make an appointment and do so. And there's never a charge to any of my clients for any of my services.
So these educational programs you put up, you're saying that every year you remind your existing clients.
Yeah.
Here's your chance to come in and up your program if you need to.
That's right.
Right.
Admittedly, with the help of my great social media advisor, Ryan Henry, I set up those blast emails. And if you don't have email, I send you letters. I put those 60-cent stamps on and send you letters letting you know the dates and times I'll be in different places to do different programs. So
Boy,
you come to those and find out what's new, and then we meet together afterwards if necessary.
You just said something that just scared me to death.
What's
you said
that?
60-cent stamps. Good grief.
Yeah, I hear they're going up again this Christmas. They've already gone up twice this year, and I hear they're going up again at Christmas.
And of course, the service just keeps getting better and better, right? Yeah. Okay, Jay, we got a few minutes left here. You want to talk about anything specific that you want to whet the appetite of our viewer about with your educational programs?
Well, yeah, as I said, we help you understand original Medicare. We help you decide the difference between the Medicare Supplement and the Medicare Advantage. But you need to remember, we need to go back to that word I used earlier, supplementary. Very often, people need to augment their coverage. For example, if somebody chooses a Medicare Advantage program, yeah, they've got a program with a 0 monthly premium, but they've also got co-pays if they have to be hospitalized, for example, of $300 or more a day. We have what we call indemnity programs. Indemnity may be a fancy word. You kind of know what it means. It means reimbursement. We can arrange for you to be able to buy programs, and you do need to buy them separately, although they have very small premiums. Well, you can buy indemnity programs that say for each day you're in the hospital and it costs you $300, we are going to give you tax-free the money to pay that $300 charge for however many days you incur it. Now, people often say to me, well, why can't the indemnity just pay that for me? If they did it that way, you'd have to declare the money that they gave you as earned income.
As income, yeah.
So you get the bill, they give you the money to pay the bill, you pay the bill, and you walk away without any out-of-pocket expense. It's like I have to tell people, Danny, the more you spend on health insurance, the less you spend on health care. Because indemnity is a simple thing. What if it gets into situations where you've developed critical or chronic illnesses? Critical meaning cancer, heart attack, stroke. Chronic illnesses mean the kind that you don't recover from and you need help with activities of daily living. We have programs that you can get for these as well that help you pay those charges. So you can pay literally pennies on the dollar for the amount of coverage that you get if and when you need it. I'll talk just as a second, as the accountant I'm an accountant by education. What people need to do when doing their retirement planning is get the kinds of health care programs, the indemnity coverage that they need, work those monthly premium payments into your budget as a cost of living. And then what that means is you're not going to be surprised by any future bills, because when that comes, you don't pay with your money, you pay with other people's money. That's a very important thing for people to realize. The more you spend on health insurance, the less you spend on health care.
That's a scary thought, which really brings up another point that I'm glad I thought of, and that is that you're not just Medicare. You're a seniors guy, right? You can help people in other areas other than Medicare.
Sure.
Right?
Just as a quick background, went to college on the GI Bill, got a degree in accounting, went into financial services, earned a designation called a Certified Retirement Financial Advisor. And I'm actually in the second part of my life in financial services now. The first 20 years I was in business, I was a stockbroker with the old Dean Witter organization.
Mm-hmm.
Then for the last 20 years, I've owned my own company specialized in seniors health care issues. So yes, I have a background in retirement planning. I can advise people on these other areas. Seniors health care, in particular Medicare, is my specialty, but we are well-rounded in all the services we can provide. So and once again, there's never any charge to you for any of the services I provide for you.
So give us your contact info again.
Well, thank you. I'm located in Marion County on the east side of Indianapolis at the Fort Harrison Office Park at 56th and Post Roads.
Just say Giacomo's Pizza.
That's right. I'm in the building. Yes. If you know where Giacomo's Pizza is, that's the best way I can help people find my building. Just go to Giacomo's Pizza. We're on the second floor of that building. Believe it or not, there are 90 offices on the second floor of that building. And my phone number again is 317-559-2140 to ring in my home or my office. And easiest way to reach me by email is just jay@jaymedicare.com. We're always available.
Jay Cox, thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you, Danny. It's great to do it again.
It's good to see you. Next week, our guest will be my friend and client Albert Gonzalez of Teachers Credit Union Mortgage Division, and we'll talk about the home market, which is something that's getting a lot of publicity these days. So thanks for watching. Thanks for having us, Ryan, and we'll see you all next week.